Hi everybody, today I'm going to do a review for the AT&T version of the Samsung Galaxy Note. I'm going to use the HTC Evo 4G as a benchmark or something to compare it to, as well as the iPhone 4S. These are the most sold phones on the market, I would think, and I have extensive experience with the Evo 4G. Now the 4G I've never used really the stock since. I've always used the Cyanogen Mod version, which is the vanilla version of Android with some enhancements. So bear with me here. It's going to be a long review because I'm going to talk about a few things: the form factor, the screen quality, the call quality, the performance, the camera quality, battery life, plus how fast it charges, the music player. I'm also going to talk about a little bit about TouchWiz, which is the customization that Samsung put into place over Android. I'm also going to show you some lag that I've experienced with this phone, and I'm going to talk about the differences between the white and black version, and of course the almighty S Pen that everybody's talking about. And I will call it a stylus because it is a stylus, for God's sake. Alright, so let's talk about the form factor. It is quite thinner than the Evo, as you can see. Now both of them have a case, and for my purposes, I've always carried a case. With these types of phones, you want a case. They will fall, there's no doubt about it. Even with a few falls and a case, this still has some dings and stuff, but I believe it helped it not totally explode. So this one has I bought a very cheap case, and I think it serves a nice purpose, and it's very thin, as you can see, and it protects it. I am looking for a silicone base because it's a little bit slippery. Now, as far as size, I gotta tell you, I actually think that for my purposes, this phone is too big. Now, I'm 6 foot. I have pretty big hands, but I do think that this phone is a little too big, and not because of usability. If I put the phone like this, I could pretty much reach all of it. It takes a little juggling, but it's possible. What I found was that it doesn't become, it takes away from the intimacy of having a phone with you. And by that I mean, it's a very big screen. I have a feeling that everybody's looking at it, and plus if you take a picture with it, everybody sees you taking a picture. It's a big screen, it's bright, it's vivid, and in that aspect, I find it very kind of irritating. Now, it does have a really nice resolution, and I was worried about the Super AMOLED display not being sharp enough, and I'm very, very sensitive to this. But this phone is very sharp. It's very sharp, and compared to my Evo, it's on par. I would still say that the Evo has better pixel density, or nicer. You can't see the pixels, but it's really, really good quality on the Note. Very good quality, I would say. So you really can't see the pentile arrangements. It works pretty well. So the form factor, you know, as far as holding it in hand, it's big. You know, that is one thing that that if you have a smaller hand, you would have a problem doing your stuff. Now, as far as typing, let me create a new S memo. And I'm going to use this and start typing. Oops. I got distracted there. I'm usually much better. So the dog walked over and jumped. Yeah, it works pretty well. One thing I did notice, I really like the keyboard that's called Smart Keyboard Pro. I really like Smart Keyboard Pro, and it works really well with my Evo. Unfortunately, I felt there is quite the lag on the Note, so it slowed me down. I had to correct myself a few times because it didn't register my keystrokes. It turns out that the stock Android keyboard works pretty well. I still prefer the Keyboard Pro because it has a lot of stuff that I like you know, the ability to choose the 6, but instead of waiting for almost a second, I can choose 200 milliseconds on this, or I can have it spell out the word "you" instead of just "you," some sort of like custom dictionary. And I also very much like the ability to do a long press on the enter button, and it adds all the smileys. So stuff like that, you know. But the stock keyboard did work nice on the Note. But again, I tried Perfect Keyboard. I have it purchased, and I tried the Smart Keyboard, and they both had major lag. So keep that in mind. Alright, so we talked about the screen. Now, one thing I noticed about this screen is that even when I put it on the lowest brightness, this is the lowest brightness it will go, it is still pretty damn bright in the car while driving. So if you use it for navigation, if you use it, I don't know, to even kids in the back to watch a movie, it's too bright in total darkness. So I was like, whoa, what am I gonna do? But I found out a software called Screen Filter, and it lets you make it even dimmer. So in that aspect, if you are thinking of using this phone at night, you would have to pretty much use another app to lower the brightness. So let's move on to the camera. The camera on the Evo 4G in my opinion, it's just excellent. Very, very good quality. Low light capabilities are great. Really, I've had really good success with this camera. Also, as far as shutter lag, etc. Problem with the camera on the Note camera, especially the stock one, is that this is not the stock. I installed a different one. Okay, so this is the stock one. So the problem with the stock one is that it has a major lag when you take a picture. This was okay, but notice how long it takes for it to actually take the picture and get to the next one. Really bothered me, and so I was looking for other cameras, and I found out the one that used by MIUI version, and let me show you that one just for as a comparison of how fast it is. So it does have the touch to focus, which is what I was looking for. In fact, this is the only one that I could find that actually works well, that has the touch to focus. So now let me put this in. Alright, so let's take the picture, focus, take the picture. And it actually blurred because but you saw how fast it took it. So let me delete this one. We'll do a new one. That's how fast it already took it. So so it's really fast, and I would suggest if you are keeping the Note, get this camera. It's really insanely fast. But other than that, the sensor quality is pretty good. I would still give the HTC the better quality there. I found that there's a little bit of lack of sharpness in the corners on the Note, and also some chromatic artifacts where you can see like bluish tints where there's high contrast white, a lot of light coming hitting an object. Alright, so next, battery life. Battery life has been okay. If I heavily use it, I will get about 7 to 9 hours. Definitely better than the HTC in that aspect. Charging, on the other hand, is way faster on the Sprint, on the EVO 4G than the AT&T Samsung Note. The Samsung Note takes between 3.5 and 4 hours to fully charge the battery. Now, it is a 25 milliamp hour battery as opposed to this one, which is, I believe, 1650. So now with moderate use, you can definitely go for a full day with this phone. And but I'm running 3 Gmail accounts and 4 for another one for another type of sync. So I have 4 accounts running on this, with 3 being Gmail accounts, and they're all working push. So I would say it's pretty nice. Music player. I was actually pretty surprised with the music player on this, the built-in one. What it has that a lot of music players don't have is the ability to just choose the folder that you want to play. So let's see where I have the player here. Music player. So It also lets you choose which tabs you want to keep. So, for example, I chose a folder, and these are the folders that I have on my SD card, and you can just go into one of them and play the songs. Now, that's another thing that it has. Whenever you're using the player, it will show the widgets right here, but for some reason it's not doing that, where you can, oh, okay. Yeah, I have to be out of the app for it to show up. So, and it has to be playing. So, see, right there. And then you click on it again, and it shows up. So, one more thing that I wanted to mention about the player is that it has a very good sound quality, on par with the Evo, and the speaker is surprisingly good. Very good speaker. I'm not sure how they managed to get such nice sound from that speaker. Alright, so next we're going to talk about the TouchWiz interface. One thing I wish they made here on the lock screen is the ability to easily not just only unlock it, but also either change to mute or vibrate, or maybe even go to the camera. I wish they've done that, but they didn't. Some of the other changes are this toggle switches on the top. Airplane mode. I'm not sure how often people change to airplane mode, but I really don't think they should have put it on the top there. They should have put the mute or vibrate button there, like the international version. I've seen a lot of reviews that talk about how nice the widget list is, where you click on the widgets here and it's right there on the bottom. And frankly, I really don't like it, because it takes forever to scroll between all of them. So I would have preferred to seeing a list, and maybe a list with groups, just like in CyanogenMod. The launcher. I would prefer a list that goes like this, just one big list, and not one of these. I don't care for that. And it took me a while to figure out how to change these. And apparently you do it by clicking on the app button, and then now clicking on the menu and doing an edit. And you have to switch to this type, and now I can drag these and put them back and put something else back. Not very intuitive. So that's TouchWiz, and I don't know if you just noticed, but there was some lag right now